And we're live again for another podcast. So today I would like to introduce to you guys a dear friend of ours, our Guro from Abanico Tres Puntas, who's been kind enough to give us some ideas about what Abanico Tres Puntas is. This is Guro Angel Eligado. I'd like to introduce to everybody. Okay, here we goes. Welcome, Guro.
Magandang hapon. Good afternoon to everybody across the world. To the ATP Isle of Man family. Mabuhay.
Mabuhay po.
Grandmaster Rene Tongson, who is the overall caretaker internationally of Abanico Tres Puntas. Guro Rodem, who is my usual training partner from the chief instructor of ATP International Headquarters in Cavite, in Pangil.
Yes.
And of course, to all students and peers and to every FMA practitioner. Mabuhay at pugay po.
Mabuhay. Okay, welcome to the Informers Podcast, Guro Angel. Thank you for...
Glad to be here.
Yes, thank you for gracing us your knowledge regarding FMA ATP. Okay. Just going to ask you, it's a straightforward question. What is ATP all about? Just to give our viewers an idea, what do we do in ATP compared to other FMA?
Okay. Abanico Tres Puntas is a classical style of arnis. It's actually the Philippine classical arnis, Abanico Tres Puntas International. Okay. As the Grandmaster Fumon Tanaka, he's a samurai practitioner in Japan, actually says, the old martial arts teaches one how to kill. Okay. We are not a sport kind of arnis. We are, I do not know if I can say this legally, but
maybe more combat arnis?
Yes, we are a more combative arnis. We are a more combative kind of Filipino martial arts. And we are not a stick art. We are blade oriented. But of course, like any other Filipino martial arts, we train the person to be the weapon. So whatever you put in his hands, he can actually use and he can actually maneuver. We do not concern ourselves with disarming our opponents, but we are concerned more of the person behind the tool. So we immobilize the person and not just take away the tool in sand. It was formulated, it goes back to the early 1930s. The Abanico Tres Puntas is actually a brainchild of the great Grandmaster Mateo Estolioso of Antique.
Yes.
Has been handed down to our present Grandmaster Rene Tongson, and who was gracious enough to actually hand it down to us.
That's nice.
So that's a short history of ATP. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So with regards to ATP, do you have any idea how widespread ATP is worldwide?
ATP is now international. Almost over 36 nations actually practice Abanico Tres Puntas. And of course, including the Philippines, it has infiltrated the schools, civilian entities, the armed forces, and our police back in the Philippines, not just in the Philippines, but also internationally.
Okay, that's good. So basically, it's worldwide now. Yeah. ATP.
It is, yes.
It is worldwide.
Yeah, we are glad to be part of we're glad to be part of the family.
That's nice. Yes. Okay. Okay. You're the head guy of ATP in the UK. So what is ATP? Having ATP in UK, how long has it already been propagating in the UK?
Oh, Jesus me.
How long did it exist, ATP in UK?
I've been practicing ATP for as long as I can remember. Um, the first time I practiced ATP in the UK was sometime in 2007 or 2008,
Okay,
and I'm
okay,
still practicing it now. So it's got deep roots in in the UK.
right in the UK. Yeah. So we're talking about roots. It was from Grandmaster Estolioso. Do you have
Yes.
any background about Grandmaster Estolioso? I mean, this is going back again in the history.
Okay.
Where is his roots from? Yeah.
Okay. Um, the great Grandmaster Matei Istolioso is from Antique. Okay. Um, during his heydays, he was actually hailed as one of the Dumog champions. Dumog meaning wrestling.
Wrestling,
Dumog
yes.
ipit, spinning, and wrestling. Um, he has been champions of numerous juegos, juego todos, jewels,
It was,
sports, and that was during the 1930s. During the Second World War, um, he was a guerrilla fighter.
okay.
He came face to face with Japanese soldiers armed with his espada idaga and his rifle and prayers.
Yes.
um, and he was very selective of his. He was very selective of his students, which is, I think, one of our distinguishing factors. ATP has always been selective with students. We rarely go commercial unless we are actually invited to do seminars, and it propagated from there, from Antique
From Antique. Yeah.
to GM Rene, and it's now handed on to us.
It's nice. Oh, okay. I see. You just went lag there for a while. But anyway, yes, you're back. So that's our GM Estolioso's history. So regarding FMA, any tips for beginners? How do they learn it? You know, at the moment we have no training because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you advise to uh, the newbies, the beginners who wants to try FMA or Arnis or the Filipino martial arts per se? Where can they get materials if they want to train it on your own at home and stuff like that? What's the best way to approach it?
Um, at the moment, like what you said, we are quite limited as to face-to-face trainings. GM Rene is about to do his um, third or fourth series of Zoom training online. Then apart from that, well, they can always register for the Zoom training. And ATP UK is also on the pipelines to sponsor the next Zoom training with GM Bene. Um, I know it is not advisable, but to have a general overview of what ATP is and how we actually move, they can always we have various um, videos, training videos by GM Rene on YouTube. However, this is a warning for everyone who wants to start.
Yes, it's a
Okay,
disclaimer. Yeah.
yeah, this is a disclaimer. Please be careful. You should always, as much as possible, train with a qualified instructor or an elder who is actually a practitioner of FMA. Okay, FMA is not a sport. Okay,
Yes.
the natural background of the Filipino martial arts is not sport. So please be careful and please be guided accordingly. Um, Sticks can easily be obtained from any sports shop in the UK. And but for me, I think the most important thing an enthusiast should actually first do is to get up from the couch and start swinging the stick. I think
Yes.
that is the first thing that they should do. You
Yes.
cannot say I'll practice it tomorrow. Oh, I'm busy. I'll practice it the following day. No, as
Yeah.
soon as you think, or as soon as you feel that you want to practice FMA, you have to pick something up. You have to start.
Start moving, basically.
You start
Yeah.
moving.
Start moving. Yeah. Because I've been training ATP for almost 5 years under your
Yes.
guidance
Mm-hmm.
and GM Rene.
Mm-hmm.
I was managed to meet him when I went to the Philippines and have a
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one training with him. So I was graced with his knowledge and skills.
Yeah.
Uh, that's why you said training. You should just be diligent, consistent, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep on moving. And the body itself will not move if you don't
Mm-hmm.
move it. Yeah, it's just like a
Exactly.
stick. It's just like your stick. If you have a nice stick there, well, oh, that's a
Mm-hmm.
weapon. That stick will not move if you don't touch it. If you don't move it
Yes.
from one place. So,
Mm.
like
That's
a knife or anything, they're not gonna be deadly if nobody's moving them. So,
this is a rattan stick. Everybody knows what a rattan stick is. But if this rattan stick does not move or is not moved by a practitioner, this will not become an avnis. This will forever remain as
a
a rattan
ratan.
stick.
Yeah, just a ratan. Yeah,
Yes, it's a rattan.
that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
People are just when they look at a rattan stick from an FMA store, from an FMA, maybe a sports shop that sells them,
Uh-huh.
you got a lot of intricate designs on it, so they get
Mm-hmm.
fascinated with that one. But at the end of the day, it's just a stick.
It's a stick.
It's just a stick. Yeah.
It's a stick. The beauty about FMA is that because you are shaping the body, you are actually training the body to be the weapon. Okay, you can actually wield anything and turn it in basically as a tool for self-defense. That is the beauty of Filipino martial arts and Abaniko Tres Puntas in general.
So the actual
Yes.
movement is from the ground up. It's not just
Mhm.
you're quick in your hands, but if you're not moving your body, you're gonna get hit.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, there are specific. I train. Well, I say this specifically for Abanico Tres Puntas, but I am very sure any kind of martial arts will actually follow, well, some sort of a dictum. For us, it is important that we have the correct posture, that we keep our elbows in. Well, let's go on correct posture. Your posture, if you have very bad posturing, if you have very bad stance, you cannot expect yourself to be moving fluidly.
Yes.
You cannot expect yourself to be able to deliver fast or accurate strikes. Accuracy is more important. Accurate strikes, powerful strikes. Okay? Practitioners of FMA, ATP, okay, we always keep our elbows in. If you put your elbow out, that is going to be cut. Okay? The very basic, but very important, is proper footwork. You move as a whole unit. When you
Yeah.
want to strike at something, you do not just strike with your hand. You actually need to be moving. If I were sat right here on the dining table and I want to get something, or I want to get something from behind me, do I just stretch my hand? Of course not. I need to get
Now.
up. I need to stop walk. I need to start walking, and that is footwork.
Yeah.
Filipino martial arts is a moving martial art. It is a walking martial art. There are You see a lot of business in the hand,
Yeah.
but your footwork will actually be doubly busy compared to the hand.
Yes. So
So correct
flowery
posture,
hands is
elbows in,
no good. Yeah.
and proper footwork.
Yeah. So you need to be working as a whole unit, basically. That's the whole point. Yes. Hello, Guru. You got cut off.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, we got cut off. We got cut off. Yeah.
Yes.
sorry, sorry. We got cut off. Anyway, okay. Yeah, going back. So we're talking about it should be moving as a whole. Yeah, basically. Yeah. No,
Yes.
no, no, no long
You
stances. No
mhm,
overstretching and all that. So you gotta have to move
mhm.
as a one unit.
Yes.
One unit.
You do not only move towards your opponent, you actually walk through your opponent. Okay? A confrontation does not stop here.
Yes.
A confrontation finishes once you've walked through your opponent. The opponent has been immobilized and you're walking away to safety. That is when the confrontation actually ends. And you
That's
can
the
only do that with your footwork.
great. Yeah. Okay. Guru, I have just another question regarding
Hmm.
training. Uh, I've seen on YouTube a lot of footworks training. Is that
Mm-hmm.
a generic FMA uh, footwork training? Like the asterisk, is that a generic one?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of FMA uh, groups they
Yes.
do that one.
Yes. The human body can only move in certain ways, unless perhaps if you're a contortionist or what have you. But the asterisk formation or the asterisk footwork is a generic. It's a generic footwork.
Footwork, yeah.
From your asterisk footwork, it will. Are you familiar? Well, I know you're familiar with the male and the female triangles. It will
Yes.
come from there.
Hmm.
The actual cross, the
Yes.
cross formation, it comes from there. There are a lot of triangular um, footwork with other FMA styles, and this triangular footwork you can actually see in the asterisk formation in the asterisk footwork. So
Okay.
no matter how footwork wise, they say, oh, this FMA style has a varied footwork compared to this. If you actually look at it, okay, it will always go back to the asterisk pattern, to the asterisk formation. Whether you go linear, you go triangular, you go horizontal, vertical, that is within
The
the
asterisk,
asterisk
yeah. It
footwork.
goes, yeah.
Yes,
It falls into
yes,
the asterisk.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, yes. That's just a very good point of reference because I've been seeing it on a lot of FMA and even boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Manny Pacquiao, I saw
Mm-hmm.
him training on an asterisk. Uh, they put tape, asterisk tape on the actual boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
saw him training on that using that approach on footworks.
Yes,
The asterisk wise. Yeah.
yes. It is very useful. It is very useful. Okay, doing the asterisk form, the asterisk footwork. Once you step out, you again establish. You step to the left with your asterisk formation. Once you keep your opponent or your yeah, once you keep your opponent to your center, then you again establish and you go back to your asterisk footwork.
You start again from there. Yes.
Yes,
So that's
you start
always,
again from
yeah,
there.
start again. So that is the point
Mm-hmm.
of reference is from where you ended up your movement. That would be another
Mm-hmm.
point of reference for your
Yes,
asterisk, and then you start
yes.
again. Yeah. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's very good. Yeah, that's a good analogy on the
Yes.
footwork.
And if you actually look at the compass, okay, it's north, south, east, west. Then the quarter
Yeah.
ones, there's going to be northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. It's the asterisk formation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's basically all the directions that you want to go to. So it is a general footwork.
So it's like all like triangulation. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, basically,
Yeah,
yes.
is it
Yeah.
triangulate, triangle here, triangle there, everywhere.
Triangle there, yeah.
Yeah,
You want to go forward, you just go, you go there. If you
yeah.
want to go sidewards, you go to your east or you go to your west.
Hmm.
You want to go forward, you go to your north. You want to go back, you go to your
Hmm.
south. Or you can actually still use, like what I said, whether you want to go northeast,
Hmm.
okay, southwest, it's
So
up to
you,
you, but
so
it
you just
is
change,
right
the
there.
cross. Yeah, you just change the
Yes,
cross from that one. You
you
just
just
change it
move
to
that
the,
compass.
yeah. Okay.
Yes, you just move that compass, and that needle will always be in the center,
Hmm.
and that will be your center line.
It's
I
always
think
your
that is the
center.
best analogy I
You
can
can give
give
about the
regarding
asterisk footwork.
yeah,
Yes. Oh,
give the
that's
asterisk
nice.
footwork
Yes.
and finding the center line. Yes.
Fine, yes, that. So, another, I'm not gonna take so much of your time. It's just Arnis. There's a lot of Arnis group that are
Yes. Hmm.
doing the sports side of it. Yeah,
Yes.
they do a lot of competition and the stick and all that.
Hmm.
Comparing to the ATP style, because you said it's not stick art.
Hmm.
How do we compare to them other groups? Because they do a lot of stick fighting. And then
Hmm.
if we are blade orientated, how do we, uh, are we a different category, or are we at the same category, or are they doing the stick because just for the sparring purposes, or are they still blade orientated? Do you have any idea regarding
Oh,
that?
okay. Um, I am not in any position to, or I am not, please, this is a disclaimer. I am
Yes.
not shooting down any FMA style
Mhm.
because I am an eternal student of the Filipino martial arts. Okay. Um, Originally, Abanico Tres Puntas, we do not have competitions. Originally, because we are blade oriented. Just imagine two Abanico Tres Puntas practitioners who actually have live blades in their hands and try to compete. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah,
It's going to be messy.
it's very messy.
Yes. Like what I said, okay, we have our principle of Sanggapatama. You, as a member, or the original member of the Heaven Six of the ATP Isle of Man team,
Yes.
knows this by heart. Okay, we have the Sanggapatama. The Sanggapatama is a principle of block and hit. Okay, you have already finished. Once you give your Sanggapatama, once you deliver your Sanggapatama, you have already finished both your defense and your offense,
Offense.
because our Sanggapatama actually hits the flesh. It's with ATP, it is always metal to flesh. It is not metal to metal. It is not stick to stick. We are metal to flesh. And that
Okay.
is why we are not considered as a sport Chinese. Most of the classical styles are not. Most of
Okay.
the classical styles of FMA,
Yeah.
uh, they do not concern themselves with what tool their opponents have, but the concern, like what I said earlier, is the man behind the tool.
I see.
Without the man, a knife that has fallen on the ground will just be a piece of metal, unless it
Yes.
is actually picked up by another person to use as a tool. So you are you are concerned to immobilize the man. You're concerned about the weapon, not what he has in his hand. If this training knife, okay, pretending that this is a real knife, okay,
Yes.
and I was immobilized, and that drops, you have already immobilized the weapon. This training knife or this knife on the tool on the ground
It's
is merely
useless.
another piece. Yes, it's merely another piece of metal on the floor.
Oh, that's a very good
So that is,
explanation. Yeah,
mm,
that's a good one. Yeah. So, at the moment, I've noticed GM Rene, they're very active in the Philippines,
yes,
doing
mm-hmm.
a lot of training for the young ones in schools.
Yes, mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. So, When's the last time you've seen GM Rene?
Uh, that was when in Bantayan Island in Cebu, when I was when we attended
Was that
a very, how shall I say, upgrading, a very
exclusive?
tedious, a very exclusive training for the Abanico Tres Puntas. It was done in Bantayan, Cebu, Bantayan Island, Cebu.
Okay.
I was supposed to meet up with him and the whole team at the international headquarters, of course, with GM Rodem,
Mhm.
with Guro Rodem. He's my usual sparring partner every time I'm there. I owe a lot to him. But of course, of the present pandemic, I was not able to travel.
Yeah,
So yeah,
because
and
was he supposed?
because
Yeah, sorry,
he
sorry,
was
Karen.
supposed to be. There were plans to actually bring him over last May, um, but we have I've already sent him the invitation. We were about to send it to the embassy, but because of the present
Situation. Yeah.
pandemic conditions, so everything just ground to a halt.
Okay.
So yeah, trainings, ATP trainings in the Philippines, they are ongoing, especially that we have the Republic Act 9850, which is the Arnis law. It is by law that school children, but governed by the Department of Education, the National Police, other law enforcement bodies, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, they actually are by law required to practice Filipino martial arts or arnis. That's why they are very busy bees. They are
BC, they
very
are.
busy
Yes.
bodies. Yes.
Yeah. I think I've only learned FMA when I came over here, which is a bit
Mm-hmm.
silly. Yeah, being a Filipino,
Mm-hmm.
because it never existed back in our days. It was very,
Mm-hmm.
what I call it, it's very secretive.
Yes.
There are no
Mm-hmm.
schools that,
No.
like when you look at a karate dojo, you'll find them everywhere, like a judo,
Mm-hmm.
and you got boxing and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't find any FMA schools back in the Philippines back then. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's why when I came over here, and then I was like, why are Filipinos not practicing this? You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at online, you see a lot of foreigners doing it and very little Filipinos, which is very,
It's
I
quite
was
ironic.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
quite ironic, isn't it? Okay.
it is.
Uh, Basically, Filipino martial arts or arnis back in the Philippines, okay, are practiced in the backyards, wearing flip flops, wearing your whatever you
T-shirt, just
wear in the
yeah.
house. Yeah, we do
Wait,
not have dojos. Our dojos is the backyard,
backyard. Yeah.
the fields where we plant rice, by the seaside. I think there was this mentality back in the days where if you are a practitioner of a certain martial art, you have to wear a white gi,
Kimono. So yeah,
a
yeah,
kimono,
yeah. I remember that.
or you have to look like Bruce Lee,
Yes.
or you have to look like you have to look like a ninja or like a Japanese samurai. Filipino martial arts practitioners back in the days, we wear flip flops, shorts, vest top, and it is not practiced in air conditioned dojos before. Perhaps now I haven't seen or I haven't visited any dojo in the Philippines whenever I go there, but perhaps there are some exclusive dojos who actually practice it in air conditioned rooms, but I still prefer FMA or Arnis to be practiced outdoors.
Yes, it's nice. It's got
And
a different feel.
yes,
Yeah.
as considering the fact that well, there are seemingly more uh, um, foreigners who actually love practicing Filipino martial arts. I know it is. I don't want to err on the side of a political discussion,
Yes.
but I think that you are not the only person who actually sense that why aren't Filipinos practicing this? This is ours.
Yes.
In Tagalog, we actually say, ito ay atin.
Mhm.
So why aren't we practicing our own art? Why does it have to be foreigners to be actually um, enjoying or
Yes.
learning the intricacies of FMA when it is actually ours and it, by law, the practice of it is actually mandated. Hopefully, with this Republic Act, and we have more FMA warriors coming up in the throne.
Yeah,
Hopefully, hopefully.
because I just don't consider it as a martial arts for me. I considered it
Mhm.
more of a cultural arts. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
That's how I
That's true.
considered
It is
it.
our
So,
culture.
yeah.
This is how beautiful our culture, our culture is.
Yes, that's how I considered FMA.
Mhm.
They say, oh, it's only a stick fighting. No, it's not. It's our culture. So
No,
that's
it's
how I look at it.
mhm.
Anyway.
Yes, yeah. It is our culture,
Yeah.
and like any other culture, it has to be people or our citizens should actually exert effort to keep it alive. We
Yes,
do
because
not me me myself. I will not let it die on my watch. Hopefully,
we'll just
hopefully the future generation has the same idea about it.
yeah, we'll just have to continue. How I call the one
Yes,
practicing it, and then
yes.
people people just have to basically have to
Mhm.
enjoy it.
Yes.
Enjoy it. Yes, enjoy it.
At first, you say you practice Filipino martial arts. Yes, you practice Filipino martial arts, but as you go deeper with the study of Filipino martial arts, it now becomes a way of living. And that is what we have to inculcate to every practitioner
Yes.
for FMA to become part of living, not just as an extracurricular activity where they can actually go back to and from whenever they want it.
Yeah. This. Yeah. And I was talking. I saw Steve Spicer posted.
Spicer.
Yeah, I saw him. He posted, "Oh, I've tried adobo," and then I just commented on his thread. I said, "It's about time now. You have to try Filipino foods."
Yes.
Because he's an FMA
and
practitioner. Yeah, so it's time for you to eat
what,
Filipino
what,
foods.
what I actually made for him was chicken adobo sa gata with
Oh, that's nice.
jalapeno. So,
Wow, that's nice.
so
Yeah.
he enjoyed it. And I
Uh,
promised him next time I'm going to cook some beef caldereta so he can
oh,
try some
that's
beef
nice. Yeah.
caldereta. Yeah.
I was laughing when I said it's about time you have to get some Filipino foods in you. So
It's about time.
yeah,
Whenever my students come to Oxford, my house is their house.
yes,
They raid the fridge, they raid the kitchen, whatever they find them,
yeah,
whatever they find, it's theirs. It's right
yeah,
there. Just it's food.
yes. It's for them to share. Yeah, it's for you to share. Yeah.
Mm,
Anyway, so that's it's a very good talk about FMA in ATP, in the
yes.
UK, especially ATP.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of FMA groups still out there in the UK.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. So it's just we don't really hear so much of them. There's not much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's not much activity. I saw some group on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Doce Pares group. Yeah, they're
Mm-hmm.
active in the UK. But
Mm-hmm.
the other groups, I hardly see any of them. I know there's loads of them. Yeah.
Actually, one of the security staff of the Oxford University Parks once came up to me and said, why don't we see you at the university parks anymore?" Well, it's because of the pandemic, isn't it? It's because of the present health conditions within the UK that actually limit us from actually practicing in the park. But as soon as everything is clear, we'll be back there.
Back again, back in action.
Yes, Yeah.
All
It's
right.
not that we don't practice. I still have the backyard. We practice in the backyard.
Yes, I know.
And it's just that we cannot congregate in big numbers in accordance to what the UK directives are. So we still practice, but within the mandates of the law.
Yes. So, any last word, Guro, that you'd leave to our viewers? I'll give the floor to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for inviting me here and regards to the whole family. I think one thing that, well, a couple of things that I can tell uh, people who want to practice martial arts, not just Filipino martial arts, but the first thing you have to do is to get up from the couch. Find yourself a good instructor, a decent instructor, okay, with discernible lineage. Okay, you have to be able to trace the lineage of this instructor back to its deeper roots. Okay? Do not be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to challenge. Okay? But once you get into practice, once you've started practicing, like what I said earlier, make it not just a hobby, but a way of life. It has to be second nature to you. If it becomes second nature to you, if it becomes a part of your daily living, it will not be a chore to practice your martial art, whatever martial art it is. So with that, mabuhay at pugay po sa inyong lahat, and thank you so much for listening.
Okay. That's great. Guru, thank you very much for gracing us your time, knowledge, and experience
Mhm.
regarding FMA and ATP-UK. Thank you very much.
It is
Mabuhay.
it is my it is my the pleasure is all mine. Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Okay.
Mabuhay at pugay po sa inyong lahat.
Okay. Everybody, if you're in the UK, somewhere down in London, Oxford, hit up our guru, Angel Aligado. Search for Lakan Angel. I'll put some Facebook link there, and then you can give him a buzz or message him for information regarding training. I'm sure Guru will help you out.
Thank you.
Right.